Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Second Lap. I'm Gramps, your host. I am on my second lap around the world, the globe, and just hit 37,177 miles. I'm telling people I'm about 12 years into the journey now. But we're trying this new. I'm kicking this off. I'm excited to see everybody that's going to come watch and hang out. I know we're live on two socials. But at this point, I'd love to have the guests brought in.
Yo, how are we?
Happy Wednesday. I am going to introduce a good friend of mine. I said good friend. Yes, a good friend of mine. His name is Matt Ensley, and he is new to the show. So it's a first timer. Welcome.
First time caller, long time listener. Not really sure how to process, so just to put me in my place when you can there, Rob.
Hey, I love you. I'm glad you're here. I'll be nice and I'll keep the training wheels on for as long as I can, but I'm sure that at some point you're just going to take off and I'm going to try and catch up. So Matt and I, by introduction, we met in 2013, 2012,
Ish.
December.
Yes, ish.
December 2012. We met, we were traveling separately, arrived in a place and got to know each other. And the friendship has, I think it's grown. I think we're closer than we were. I don't wear my hat backwards anymore. I've thrown
Wow.
up. I know, I was trying to be funny and the jokes. Matt is the one that's very good at keeping me grounded. Right?
Okay.
Is that not a fair statement?
I try to.
Yeah. I look forward to conversations and
I think the general public would have a more favorable opinion of you with a little less dad joke action.
I'm working on it. I've got a couple
They
other.
just don't know you. You know, it's a hard impression.
It is. But as we were talking with Ronnie pre-show, in trying to raise an 80s kid, you got to have some of that dad humor in order to do that, right? So.
Oh no, I love Rob. I love everything about you. I think your humor is for the most derogatory term I could use would be nostalgic.
Thank you.
But yeah, I love it.
That's great. Hey, I don't know how many of these you've watched. The premise is really, I'm very easy to talk to, self-described, and we try to share just some things that might help others that are maybe more youthful and haven't had the experience. We both have, I'd call scars and things that we've learned from. But I'm going to try and do a couple of things, try and pull a couple of things out of you. You have been a couple of job titles that have been exciting to me. When we met, you were a painter.
Yes.
Full time.
Yes, at the time it was more of a rehabilitation project.
Okay.
Growing up, my parents, my father was a urologist, so I get a lot of really bad humor, not the dad humor.
Yep.
A little too vulgar at times, but there were no other kids on our block. So I had a little bit of a thing about going and finding my people.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily find them, but one of my parents' neighbors, who was a really interesting guy, he dropped out of aeronautical engineering school with I think 2 classes left.
Okay.
To take over his dad's Ace Hardware, an old hardware shop.
Okay.
He ended up selling that and leveraging to buy Burger King's fast food.
Okay.
I was on my way to college at the University of Tennessee. And he said, "What are you doing this summer?" I said, "You want some beer money?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he said, "Well, just paint my Burger Kings." So the painting thing came around that time. And I learned that you can be really quick. And the cleaner you were, the quicker you were. So I'd always done it for extra money. At the time we met, I'd gotten in a really horrible car wreck where I broke every one of my ribs. I had moved home from St. Louis to Central Illinois. I thought I was going to get a cheap master's.
Right.
And the first thing I did was get in a car wreck, break my ribs, and I needed something to do. So I didn't want to work for anybody else.
Right.
Painting is a lot of good stretching and moving, and that's what it was.
We've been friends for, I just got done saying 13 years, and that's the first time I heard that story. That's very, very interesting. And I see that about you. I don't see you, and I'm saying this in the most loving way for everybody that's listening. I don't see you as an employee of somebody else's. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. It's a struggle of mine. It's a bigger struggle that my wife has.
Right.
Together we are the juggernaut of not wanting to punch a clock, and not wanting to do the things other people want us to do. So
right, I hear you. What was before we go to the next one, because I want to really focus on the next one. What was like sort of, if you were talking to your younger self, is there anything that you would say was really beneficial other than the fumes for being a painter? Like from a creativity perspective, or that kind of side?
I think any kind of physical work, and the reward factor of that growing up is much better than trying to learn something complicated. I really do. I think a lot of kids, they take crappy jobs. They're service related, which is great. Service work. I mean, I think in essence, every job out there, excuse me, is a service job,
right.
if you're doing it right. But I think that being physically tired as a young person helps push away the emotional tendencies that complicate so many simple things.
And maybe a false sense of anxiety because you're just not being as physical. Therefore, you're sort of.
It's the idea of being mentally tired versus being physically tired.
Okay.
I can do a lot of things when I'm physically tired, and that includes the mental stuff.
Right.
But I perform better in that capacity. It's almost like the procrastinator without necessarily procrastinating, because you have to get something done. If you don't get it done, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get paid. You're not going to have that
right.
client. So it's not that anxiety of, oh my gosh, I have this meeting on Friday. I need to prepare for it. But
right.
No, let's go get it done.
Get the job done. What did you say? So we've talked. Last thing about painting, outside, inside. Where is your preference? Are you a outside guy and more call it oil-based paint, or however you do outside? Versus, obviously, I'm ignorant here. Or are you more of the inside? You like to do trim, things like that?
Well, I don't like to do any of it, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair.
The only thing I like about it is it's I know how long it's going to take me, and most times, and I'm being physical. I think a lot of people have they have a false sense of reality of what things cost.
Okay.
And they feel like they can take a little bit of an advantage of a one-man show or a small crew, or
right.
And then I think there's a lot of people, unfortunately, in a lot of industries that involve the trades, that will take the guy that can answer the phone right away and is not busy and is just undercutting everybody. And but to answer your question specifically, inside is easy as long as their house is somewhat clean.
Okay.
And they have a ton of stuff in the room. It's hard to move stuff with one person. It's hard to get people to show up in a lot of those capacities to help. But it's nice and quick. Outside, for the most part, I wouldn't say it's even better money because I could be so much quicker inside. But outside, at least you get some sun. The last couple of years, when I have done a couple things, because I did that during COVID for a while, the weather played much more of a part
Right.
in my life than I ever wanted. I think that's a thing of getting older too. Like
Right.
I know for a fact the wind is my least favorite element. It just screws up your day. Like
Yeah.
driving,
I hear you.
walking, like anything, you know.
I hear you. Well, I appreciate you taking a little walk down memory lane. I've done a lot of inside painting in my life. I've not done any outside. And I do see when I see you and I think of other guys that had painting and things like that, I see sort of that similar, hey, I want to be able to be my own guy and do that. So I see the value there. Shifting, and I think you corrected me the last time. I always thought you were a roadie. Like I told my friends, I got my Guns N' Roses roadie buddy that's out there on the road doing cool things. Could you tell people what you did after you painted?
Well, I've always been
Would
a
you call
little
it a roadie?
involved. They call them technicians now, Rob.
Technicians. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
A couple of things I did for years was, I love music.
Yep.
I had more than my handful of problems with the booze and other things. And I learned very quickly in St. Louis when I moved down there for a relationship that I could get paid to hang lights, put lights down, do some sound stuff, do whatever they needed as a stagehand.
Okay.
Which basically means you have two hands and ears, hopefully. That
Muscle.
can listen. But yeah, it was a great gig. I wanted to go see a show. There was an amphitheater there. They would pay you to do a load in, a load out. The load in 9 hours. You could go home, get cleaned up, go back, watch the show. Your load out was less than 4 hours. And the beauty of the hour, clarification was the fact that you get paid in 4-hour increments. So you got a free concert and you worked, 16 hours that day. So the money was good. The work was whatever. You're just doing whatever some guy tells you to do.
Sure.
And then I was
stressful. Would you call it stressful?
As a stagehand, absolutely not.
Okay.
Almost everything I do now is not stressful at all.
Okay.
There are certain jobs I've done since that have been extremely stressful. So it's a push-pull. So I started working for a company in St. Louis for years as a stagehand stuff, just whenever. And then I ended up, I knew I didn't want to paint anymore. I knew I didn't want to be in Central Illinois. So after we met, so I simply quit and moved back down to St. Louis, and I became a project manager for the same staging company that I was doing stagehand work for. And then the evolution of my career went on.
So I'm going to just give you back the, what do you call it? The mirroring. I heard you say that you found a way to go get 16 hours worth of money and a free concert by participating in the music business.
Absolutely.
That sounds
and
pretty
stay
cool.
out of trouble
That sounds
and not spend money.
Okay, yeah. No, you're making money, you're having a good time, and you're not spending money.
Yep, getting paid to work out.
Okay, so then that begs the question that everybody's watching. I was going to say, we have a question from one of our listeners. Who is the coolest band that you have been affiliated with? Are you allowed to say that? Is that an NDA kind of thing?
No, not if it's past.
Okay.
NDAs are usually for stuff that's
just during
coming up.
Okay.
Or until doors are open. No pictures of stage, no pictures of what you're doing until the actual event is going on. Well, I mean, I'm a deadhead, so it's like working with Dead was cool.
Condolences. Condolences for your loss. I said, I'm saying condolences for your loss. I know that you lost somebody important last week.
Yep. He lasted a lot longer than I thought he was going to. I'll be interested to see what happens. I did their last technical outside tour show, even though they did the Grateful Dead 60 in San Francisco. Not
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Are you still talking? Yeah, I've lost hearing, but that doesn't mean. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, Ronnie. I was gonna say I lost too. Yeah, the beauty. Yeah, you were talking and it went. I can't. I don't think you hit the mute button, right? And I think you can hear me. This is what happened last week with Ashton, but it happened at the very beginning as opposed to in the middle of the interview.
would this work? Is that
Yeah,
better?
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
So you started to say, and I'll bring us back. You said that you didn't do the San Francisco Dead show, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
So yeah, so I technically did their last outdoor show besides the Grateful Dead 60, which was in San Francisco Park.
Okay.
So I did the 3 nights at San Francisco Stadium in 2023, which was their final tour.
Sure.
And that was a great time. I got to see a bunch of friends. I just gotten back from Europe, actually from Tel Aviv, with Guns N' Roses, and was sitting on the couch at home, kind of being bummed out because that tour didn't pan out the way I wanted to.
Right.
And my buddy was like, "Hey, I need somebody to come out and help." So it's great.
Do you think John Mayer is going to take over the band? Do you think that he's going to keep it going?
I think he already has.
Okay.
I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. I did one of his shows at a place that was closed called Mississippi Nights in St. Louis. I was very new in the concert industry. And there was my boss at the time said, "Hey, I know you're not supposed to be doing anything today, but can you run by the shop and pick up a check and take it down to this guy after a show?" And I said, "Sure, who is it? Blah, blah, blah." And he's like, I don't know, some whiny guy. The girls love him. He's going to have an album out soon. And I went down there and I walked in, and it was eerily quiet because it was his first album. And, you know,
yeah.
if you're familiar with that type of music, but eerily quiet, except for the 80 teenage girls that were sitting in front. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I listened to him, and he was really good. And did a little bit of research on him, I think that evening, and found these videos of him playing the classical guitar.
Yeah.
And it just blew my mind. I mean, I was like, okay, this guy isn't going to stay in this genre for very long. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, he blew up. But I do remember chasing him down the street because he had escaped on me, and I hadn't paid him yet. And he was like, hey man, I don't need anything from you. Like, why are you following me? I stopped, and I was like, dude, do you want to get paid or not? He's like, oh yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
that's funny. So you had to chase John Mayer down and make him take money.
Yes. Wow. Granted, he had 2 women next to him that were of questionable age, but you know, it's a long time ago.
Yeah. I was gonna say we probably don't want to. We'll probably edit out the questionable age thing. We don't want to.
Well, I mean,
we don't want to take anybody the wrong direction here.
No. It was a 18 and up club.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. And so John Mayer, I like John Mayer. I saw John Mayer Trio in concert in Vegas years back. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and I watched his tribute. So okay, so you did great. So we heard Grateful Dead, and you just sort of like, hey, half-ass, let it slip, Guns N' Roses. Like that's a pretty big deal.
So I did. So the St. Louis company I worked for, their primary business, I guess, is mobile staging. Okay. They were partnered with a larger modular stage. So the difference between those is a mobile stage is basically a truck that kind of transforms into a platform that you turn into a stage. Modular staging is like Lincoln Logs, big roof that raises with hoists. You get a lot more room, a lot more trucks. So I did a lot of festivals to start. But being St. Louis based, they did a lot of things. They did the payroll for the IATSE, which is the International Stage Union there. So we would kind of project manage them on shows, but we also had our own casual labor. So I got a good taste of everything, but somehow I got into the niche of large stadium shows, so large outdoor stadium shows. So anybody that tours at that level that you can think about, I've probably done. I did the Stones a bunch, 2 or 3 tours with them. I did U2 in the US, Australia, Guns N' Roses through Canada, US, Middle East, Europe, all those guys.
How about the gal that gets all the kids excited? That everybody, Swiftie people. Are you?
Oh yeah, that was a summer. Actually, I came to your house to dump laundry one time. That was not a fun summer for me. I was bouncing between Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
If you're listening to this, he was bouncing between Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Like, that just sounds horrendous.
It's a lot of high-pitched noises.
I was going to ask you, is that what it is? Is it mostly the ecosystem around them as opposed to them themselves?
Look, they're both phenomenal artists. They're very, very elaborate shows. Very different crowds. But you kind of they're closer than you think across when I say different crowds.
Right.
Just because of in my personal and professional opinion, just because the entry price.
Right.
So you get some more polished people, but they're still at a concert going crazy.
Yep.
And the biggest pain that I had was getting in and out of work. It's when you have 1,000 drunk moms and their kids waiting on an Uber that they don't know how to work. It can be frustrating.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it tests your patience, but you did say that there's no stress in what you do, so.
No, I mean, look, my one job skill is that I don't need that much sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that kind of stuff. Organizing and killing the alligator closest to the boat is something that I find very easy.
I like that. Any tips on traveling? I mean, I'm assuming you'd had to learn how to live in a very tight, suitcase and be very effective and efficient and not have to buy new shit every time you went to a new place. I mean, is there any travel tips that you would give on how to do that? Get a hard case. I remember your suitcase being hard as opposed to mine was a soft shell, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I have a Pelican carry-on with the stuff that I can't lose. And sometimes that meant throwing in boots for a place that that is going to be muddy, because if your check bag gets lost, you're going to have an issue.
Right.
And contrary to popular opinion, boots and workwear that we use is thousands of dollars.
Right.
But as far as I would say over time you learn what your creature comforts are and what you need and what you don't need. There's
things like aspirin. Like what's like that go-to thing?
Imodium.
Imodium. Hey, that's it. I mean, if it's the truth, I mean, keep that shit with you, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you learn in a lot of places to use bottled water to brush your teeth, that kind of stuff. But some of the most successful guys I know, they travel with a backpack, and they'll have a runner who's like a somebody that's on site that's from the area that basically runs errands. They'll have them go out and pick up a 5-pack of white T-shirts. You know, like every city they go to. I mean, so they basically rinse and repeat the same thing. I mean, you don't doing the stuff I'm doing now. I have more time. But being in a tour that's busy, you have no time. So in fact, a lot of tours now, they travel with a specific person that will do laundry. They travel with a washer and dryer that they plug into the stadium, you know, and you either pay them or that's already included in your rate or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, stuff like that. And then the basics, it's like camping, you know, shower, sandals, like,
yeah.
But to be blunt, I've been in a situation where, I'm a hotel room guy. I don't have to run out to a bus every night. If I'm on a bus, it's you know, I'm the bus mom, they'll say.
Right.
So I tell everybody to throw their dirty sneakers under the bus and that kind of stuff, and it just becomes routine.
Okay, that's fair. For me, it's exciting. Like when I go to a concert and I see the guys that are, you know, doing, and I've met some people after show or backstage or however, and thinking of you doing that as, you know, employment just always has been exciting to me.
Yeah, it gets in your blood.
Yeah,
you know, it's so, you know, nobody else really knows, but my wife has an event company. We have an event company that is local in Central Illinois, that we've turned into much more of a, it's just kind of the corporate side of stuff. We still do some outdoor stuff because I can get stages and that, and there's definitely a difference in working with her versus working my regular stuff. Right. And I will say that the stuff that you think is cool and is a grind. It's a mental and physical grind that is brutal.
Right.
Now, doing the stuff that my wife does, yes, it's mental and physical, but there's a feel-good nature to it because you're doing stuff for people that, you know, we do a lot of employee retention stuff, for instance. So Christmas parties, that kind of stuff.
And weddings too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, there's just a lot of emotion there.
Yeah. I hear you.
I don't have to get into a lot of that stuff, thankfully, but the employee retention stuff is great because people go wild. Like we do all these nursing home employee things over Christmas.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I don't ever want to touch a Christmas tree. We'll never have one in our house. We have at last inventory 145. Various sizes. We actually do one for one client that they purchased. I think it was a $35,000 22-foot Christmas tree.
Holy cow!
We store it for them and put it up every year in their lobby. And when that one goes down, I don't want to talk about Christmas. I don't want to talk about like where are the red Christmas balls, where are the blue Christmas. I don't want to talk about anything.
I hear you. Luckily, my beautiful bride does all of the Christmas tree stuff. I get it into the car, I get it into the house and fill it with water, and then she does all the rest. So it's nice. So I'm going to throw one at you. I don't know how much longer we got, but we'll tease for the next one.
Sure.
You're also one of the only friends of mine that's actually been shot with a gun.
Correct.
And is here to talk about it.
Contrary to popular belief, most people that get shot live.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't know that.
It's like well over 3/4. It's crazy, right?
I was gonna say I don't know what that says about us, but anyways, yours was, and my remembrance, because I remember getting a text from you with a bullet hole wound in your skin, and you were driving through St. Louis, minding your own business.
I was.
And all of a sudden?
Yeah. So I'd actually just finished painting like a month before. I was getting ready to move to St. Louis. Or actually, I think at the time I was going to move to Aspen and just wait tables because I have a really good buddy that's out there that you met.
Yep.
And I was just gonna my plan, well thought out plan was to just be Kane and walk the earth, go wait some tables, and I could go outside, and instead of walking around Dallas, I could just walk up a mountain and down.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, one of my cousins, I have a really large family. They just bought a foreclosure in Kansas City, Missouri, and they were opening a window, and like the window fell out. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, like this is going to cost us a fortune." And Bo at the time, my cousin's husband, he was like, "Hey man, I know you're not really doing anything, but I know you have all the stuff. Would you like come down for like a week and help?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
So I went down there, stayed a little bit longer than I wanted to, and I was driving back from Kansas City to Central Illinois, and through there was St. Louis. I lived in St. Louis about 15 years prior, and that year when I was painting, doing my rehab, I had talked to nobody. I think the only person I talked to was probably you, really. I mean, a handful of others, but nobody. I didn't go out. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing anything. I worked every day. So as I'm driving through, coming up on St. Louis, I said, "Man, I'm going to call some people, see if somebody wants to grab a bite to eat or something." And I remember this very vividly. So I apologize if it's too long of a conversation.
No, please keep going.
So it had started raining. So I pulled over into the right lane because my left. I mean, speed limits are just suggestions, right?
Sure.
So I pulled over into the right lane and I slowed down, and nobody's answering my phone call. And so, of all things, I put my hand up on the wheel and I turned and I picked my phone up and I start texting people.
Okay.
As I was doing that, I hear this loud crash, like collision sound. Okay.
Right.
Just one. Had no idea what was going on. Looked up, vaguely remember a car going by because I thought something had like fallen off a truck or something, and I wasn't paying attention. It's a really sad story. This kid, he had decided to, I think he was trying to do a death by cop. This was sometime after Ferguson.
Right.
And he was driving his brand new Dodge Charger with his brand new SIG 9mm and shooting out the passenger side at people.
Just aimlessly.
Well, no, he was aiming. He aimed pretty good. As I joke, but it's absolutely 100% true. If I were actually driving at 10-2, I would probably be dead.
So if you're breaking the rule of don't text and drive, you would be dead.
Yeah, the surgeon that night started laughing, and he was like, "Oh my God, texting and driving saved your life." So I was turned enough. The bullet went through the window, went in right here. I had a little hole right there. It came out right here-ish and went out the other window.
Jesus.
So yeah, it was a really sad story. I had to jump through all these hoops, and it makes you really question how a lot of things work. Like I had 2 broken windows. I had to pay to get my car out of impound the next day, and then put windows in them. But I had to pay to get my car out of impound. My car was just on the side of the road.
Right.
And they
I was going to say, you had to deal with this, and you didn't choose to get shot.
Correct. So I had to do all that kind of stuff. This guy, he shot another gal, and she was driving normally, and she had a fairly complicated surgery to get shrapnel removed from her spine. The sad part is, I assume she didn't die because it wasn't in the news.
Right.
It was barely in the news. But then he went on to shoot, I think, 14 or 15 other cars because they had bullet holes in them, and ran out of bullets at St. Louis Airport, and they arrested him. He had been involved, and I still don't know if he was in the vehicle or not, but his mother was killed by a tractor trailer crash. It was a broken family. He had a brother by another guy, Father wasn't there. And he got a $300,000 payout off of a $2 or $3 million lawsuit. So lawyers screwed him and his brother. And he bought a charger and a gun and said
Gonna fix it himself.
I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's been out of jail for 6 years, 7 years.
Is there any inclination in your heart to ever meet this guy?
You know, I thought about it because I tried to sue his car insurance.
Okay.
And he wouldn't talk to any of the lawyers in jail. And I was like, you know, and then I got a victims impact thing.
Okay.
Saying that he was out of jail, which I was supposed to get notification before and all this kind of stuff. And they recommend that you don't talk to the person. And I was like, well, I don't know this guy. Like, I mean,
right.
I don't know anything about him, but they recommend all that. And then by the time they gave me the information, they were like, oh yeah, you're like 2 years past using the Victims Impact Fund that pays for bills. So like a dummy, I paid all my stuff. I think it was around $80-some thousand for all of it, for basically 2 Band-Aids. And the worst part about it was that I had to go back out with Taylor Swift not too long after that, or I was going out with Taylor Swift, and her big song was Band-Aids Don't Fix Bullet Holes. And I was like, yeah, they do.
Oh, man. Well,
yeah, I would honestly, I would pay anything to have that clarity that I had after that. I remember going home, and I've told you this story before, but one of my sisters was complaining that, you know, she didn't know how to talk to her daughter because 2 of her friends were having birthdays on the same day at the same time, and they couldn't go to both of them. And she's sitting there venting to my mom about this, and I walked home and I grabbed my dog and I said, I'm going to take a walk.
Right.
And I just remember feeling about how many little things that we waste so much time on that do not matter.
Right.
I think it actually makes me a lot better at my job most times, because I know there's a lot of things that don't matter, and I know that there's some things that do, and that's how you approach it. But you know, like everything, we let some of those gifts kind of slink away. If you don't pay attention to stuff, you'll lose it, and that goes for just about everything.
I agree. Well, I appreciate you sharing the story. I appreciate you sharing the time with us. I'm going to let you get back to your life, and I hope that you've enjoyed this enough that we can do this again.
I would love to, Robbie. I really appreciate you as a friend, and you know, you're family to me for the rest of my life. But I would love to talk about some more stuff. I think you get into some great topics. I know we get into some great topics on our regular conversations. Right. So yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. I really appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of, I'll stop here so I can do it. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
I will.
If you're not following this guy on Instagram, which is where he spends most of his time, it's ENDZOO, which someday, maybe the next podcast, he'll explain what that is, and he'll probably try to take credit for vaguely specific conversations. So we'll just leave those both there.
You have the video.
We will leave both of those there as evidence, and on the next show, we'll get deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day, guys.
I love you. Be safe. Take care.
Love you too, man.
All right. Bye.